Hello everyone. As you know, my name is Rex. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, today topic name is what is computer? In this video, we will discuss about computer in detail, like what is computer, its components, its memory, characteristics of computer, and some important full forms and generations of computer, etc. Let's start. Let's first discuss what is computer. So, guys, it's an electronic device that accepts data from user, then process it according to a set of instructions, and then store the data which is used to produce meaningful information as output. And it was developed by Charles Babbage. Apart from that, in simple words, we can say that it is a machine that helps people to perform different types of work efficiently, and it can be used for studying, writing documents, browsing the internet, watching videos, managing business reports, and performing scientific calculations. And guys, computer have, we can say that it becomes an essential part of modern life because it make work faster, easier, and more accurate. Apart from that, a computer cannot think or make decision on its own. It works according to the instructions given by the user or a program, and these instructions tell the computer what kind of task to perform and how to perform it. Therefore, the performance of a computer depends on the instructions and data provided to it. Now, one of the most important feature of a computer is its ability to process the large amount of data within a very short time. Task that may take human several hours to complete, that kind of task can be completed by a computer in a matter of seconds, and this makes the computer extremely useful in schools, office, banks, hospitals, industries, and research organizations. So let's understand it, or we can say the working of computer. Understand the working of computer with a simple diagram. Okay. So this diagram consists three units: input unit, process or CPU unit, and output unit. Input unit is responsible for accepting data and instructions from the user, and it acts as the communication bridge between the user and the computer. Input devices converts the human readable data into a form that a computer can understand and process. There are some examples of input devices such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, joystick, webcam, etc. And next is processing unit or CPU. So guys, CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It is known as the brain of computer. It receives the data from the input unit and process it according to the instructions and control all the activities within the computer system. CPU consists of three major parts: ALU, CU, and memory unit. ALU stands for arithmetic logical unit, CU control unit, and I already told you, memory unit, MU. So let's talk about output unit. Output unit displays the result produced by the computer after processing the data, and output devices convert the computer generated information into a form that can human understand. And now there's some we can talk. There are several examples of output devices such as monitor, printer, speakers, projector, etc. So now let's talk about the components of computer. So guys, a computer is made up of several components that work together to perform different tasks, and a computer cannot function properly if any of its major components are missing. A computer system mainly consisting of two major components, hardware and software, and they also consist some parts, or you can say that types, such as hardware consists input devices, output devices, processing devices, storage devices, and software consists system software, application software, and they also further classified in different categories. Now, let's first talk about hardware. So, hardware refers to all the physical parts of a computer that can be seen and touched, and these components work together to perform various operations. Without hardware, a computer system cannot exist physically. For example, the keyboard, mouse, computer, CPU, printer, and hard disk are all the hardware components because they are tangible objects. In this, let's also discuss about input devices, output devices, processing devices, storage devices briefly. So, input devices are used to enter data and instruction into a computer, and these devices act as a bridge between the user and computer system, and they convert the human readable information into a form that computer can understand. And if we talk about its example, so they are keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone, webcam, etc. Next is output device. So output devices display or present the result generated by the computer, and these devices convert the processed information into a form that can human understand. And these devices help users to view, hear, or obtain the final result of processing. And if we talk about its example, they are monitor, printer, speakers, projectors, plotters, etc. Now let's talk about processing devices. So processing devices are responsible for performing the calculations, logical operations, and controlling the overall functions of the computer. Here, CPU is the primary processing device in a computer system. The CPU is often referred to as the brain of the computer because it controls all the operations and process all the instructions. Now let's talk about storage devices. So, storage devices are used to store the data, programs, and information for future use. They enable users to save information permanently and retrieve it whenever needed. And storage devices are important because they preserve the data even when the computer is switched off. If we talk about its examples, they are HDD, which stands for hard disk drive, SSD, solid state drive, pen drive, memory card, compact disk, etc. Next is software. So, a software is a collection of programs, instructions, and procedures that tells the computer how to perform a specific task. And software cannot be touched physically because it consists of instructions rather than the physical components. And we can say that hardware without software is useless because hardware requires instructions to perform any operations. For example, a a computer with a keyboard, monitor, and CPU cannot perform any task unless software provides the necessary instructions. Let's talk about the types of software. So they are system software and application software. And so system software manages and controls the hardware components of a computer, and it acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. Apart from that, system software also ensures that all the hardware devices function properly and efficiently. It consists operating systems, device drivers, utility softwares, language language translators, etc. And next is application software. So friends, it is designed to help user to perform specific tasks. Unlike system software, application software focuses on solving user problems and meeting user needs. And application software is created for activities such as writing documents, preparing presentations, browsing the internet, and managing the database, or performing also for performing calculations, etc. So now let's talk about next topic. Next is characteristics of a computer. There are flowing characteristics of a computer such as speed, accuracy, diligence, software storage capacity, automation, versatility, reliability, and multitasking, etc. So we can say that if we talk about speed, a computer can perform billions or billions of calculation in a second, which makes it much faster than a human. And if we talk about accuracy, so a computer produces highly accurate results when the instruction and the data are correct. For example, banks use computers to calculate interest accurately. Next is diligence. A computer can work continuously without getting tired or losing concentration. If we compare it with a human, so a human need rest after completing any work, but a computer does not need any rest, which makes it more better in terms of performance. Next is storage capacity. A computer can store a large amount of data and can retrieve it whenever required. For example, modern computer can, modern computers can store terabytes of data. Next is automation. Once the instructions are given, a computer can perform all the tasks automatically, which makes the work more easy, such as a payroll system automatically calculates the employee salaries. And if we talk about versatility, a computer can perform different types of tasks. For instance, same computer can be used for studying, programming, designing, gaming, etc. And if we talk about reliability, a computer provides consistent result every time, which means there will be less errors. And last is multitasking. A computer can perform multiple work or tasks at the same time, such as listening music while while browsing the internet and typing a document, which means we can perform multiple works at the same time, which increase the user satisfaction and can and also make the work more faster. Now let's talk about some important full forms. So as we know, in computer science, many technical terms are represented by abbreviations. So, guys, understanding these full forms help you in learning the computer concepts more easily, and you can understand the functions of different computer system in a better way. Let's first discuss about computer. So it stands for commonly operating machine, purposely used for technological and educational research. We can say that it's a popularly used acronym and but not an official technical full form. In reality, the word computer comes from the word compute, which means to calculate. Next is CPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit. As we know, it is the most important component of a computer system and it is often called the brain of the computer because it controls and coordinates all the operations performed by the computer. Whenever a user enters the data, opens a program, saves a file, or performs a task, CPU processes the instructions and produces the result. Every operation in a computer system passes through the CPU. Next is RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It is the primary memory of a computer that temporarily stores data and instruction, which currently being used by the CPU, and it allows computers to access information quickly and efficiently. It is called volatile memory because its contents are lost when the computer is switched off. Switched off. Next is ROM, read only memory. It is a type of permanent memory that stores important instructions which are required for starting and operating the computer. Unlike RAM, the contents of ROM are not lost when the power is turned off, and ROM contains the instruction that needed to start the computer during the booting process. Now let's talk about the parts of CPU that are ALU, CU, and MU. ALU stands for Arithmetic Logic Unit, and CU stands for Control Unit, and MU stands for Memory Unit. So, guys, Arithmetic Logic Unit is responsible for performing all the arithmetic calculations and logical operations, and it is the part of CPU that actually performs mathematical computations and comparisons. Apart from that, uh, if we talk about CU, Control Unit, it controls and coordinates all the activities of the computer, and it acts like a manager that directs different components and ensures that the instructions are executed in a correct sequence. If we talk about memory unit, so it stores data, instructions, and intermediate results that are required during processing, and it provides temporary storage so that the CPU can access information quickly. And the memory, we can say that memory unit works closely with the ALU and CU during program execution. Next is memory. As you know, memory is the storage area of a computer where data, instructions, and informations are stored. And guys, it enables the computer to remember information temporarily or permanently. And memory plays a vital role because CPU needs access to data and instructions in order to perform tasks. Let's talk about the types of memory. So it is divided into two types, primary and secondary, and they are further classified such as RAM, ROM, and if we talk about secondary, so it is in HDD, pen drive, memory card, etc. So I already explained the RAM and ROM. So let's directly move to HDD, but let's talk about at least what is primary and secondary memory. So primary memory is the memory that directly accessible by the CPU, and it stores the data and instructions that are currently being used by the computer, and it is faster than the secondary memory but generally has a smaller storage capacity, and it also called the main memory. As and as I already told you, it is classified into RAM and ROM. So Now let's talk about secondary memory. So guys, secondary memory is used for permanent storage of data and programs, and it retains information even when the computer is switched off, as I already told you about that in ROM, but it is different. So secondary memory has a much larger storage capacity than primary memory, but it is generally slower. Now let's talk about its examples, such as HDD, SDD, pen drive, etc. So HDD stores the large amount of data using magnetic technology, and HDD stores data using flash memory and provides faster access as compared to HDD. And if we talk about pen drive, it is a portable storage device which is used to transfer files. There are another examples of HDD like memory card, compact disc, digital versatile disk, etc. Now let's discuss about generation of computers. This is the last topic. So guys, there are five generations of computers: first generation, second generation, third, fourth, and fifth. So if we talk about first generation computers, 1946 to 1959, first generation of computers used vacuum tubes for processing and storage, and these computers were extremely large and consume a huge amount of electricity. Apart from that, they are very large in size, and if we talk about their speed, so that is slow as compared to other future other generations, and it is expensive. It was expensive to maintain at that time. Now let's talk about second generation. The second generation replaced the vacuum tubes with transistors. Transistors were smaller, faster, more reliable, and consume less power, which means we can say that second generation is more faster and reliable than the first generation. And this generation marked a major improvement in a computer technology. So, if we talk about its characteristics that are smaller in size, faster processing, and it also reduces the heat generation and improves the reliability. Next is third generation computers, which is 1965 to 1971. So here, integrated circuits replace the transistors, which allowed many electronic components to be placed on a single chip, and this greatly increased the speed and reduces the size. Next is fourth generation computers. The invention of microprocessor here led to the development of personal computers, and thousand and later the millions of transistors could be placed on a single chip because of that development. And this generation makes the computer affordable and widely available. So here its characteristics can be like it provides very high speed, and if we talk about its cost, that is low as compared to previous generation, and it provides large storage capacity. Next is fifth generation computers. So guys, fifth generation computers focus on artificial intelligence, machine uh, learning, robotics, and natural language processing. These computers are designed to simulate human intelligence and solve complex program problems. Apart from that, it also provides artificial intelligence capabilities, and it is extremely it also provides a high processing power as compared to previous generations. So guys, this is all about computer. I explained all the points, but there will be separate video about many topics like RAM, ROM, I mean about storage, input devices and output devices also. Let's meet in another video. Thank you for listening to me.